Hey guys! In this lesson, we'll see a few alternative ways to express the ambiguity of the third degree of the scale in a major blues framework. As I demonstrated in the previous lesson on the major is 4/7 scale, the blue major is third is played with a bend reaching the upper area of the third degree complex. But instrumentalists have also found other ways to approach that sound on their fixed pitch instruments. Specifically, on guitar there are many alternative techniques to pitch shade the notes, especially the major is third of the scale. Let's see 8 of them. Guitar slide. A standard technique is the use of a guitar slide. With a slide, you can ignore the limitations of guitar's frets and express the microtonal character of the blues scales. This technique can be traced back to African traditions, like the playing of monochord zithers in West and Central Africa. During slavery, these instruments evolved into the diddley bow, a homemade single-stringed instrument which became the first guitar of many blues legends. Little bend with vibrato. In this technique, we combine a little bend on the minor third with vibrato. Essentially, you apply vibrato to a pitch a little higher than the standard minor third, resulting in an ambiguous third sound. The highest pitch during the vibrato must be in the upper area of the complex in order to give a major shade. Let's see some examples. Slide from the minor third to the major third. This one uses the classic glissando technique where you slide from one fret to another, in this case from the classical minor third to the major third. It sounds as close to a bend as you can get using fixed notes. It has a very distinct major flavor since it ends with a standard major third note, and that's why it is played exclusively over major blues progressions. You can also use it over chords with no third or over a drone in order to give an overall major character. I believe this technique has been misinterpreted and contributed to the confusion about the blues scales. The thing is that these two notes, the minor third and major third, are generally not used independently as important notes, but only as one toneme consisting of this motion from the minor to the major third. It's understandably difficult to realize that outside this microtonal concept, since in modern blues solos this practice coexists with classical scales, major arpeggios, and passing minor thirds. Let's see some examples. Hammer on from the minor third to the major third. This one is exactly the same as the previous one, except you pick every note or use a hammer-on instead of a slide. Here are some examples. This practice can be found in boogie and rock and roll riffs as well. Trills. This one is also a frequent technique being used to express the ambiguity of the third degree in blues. The two notes are alternating in order to produce a majorist third sound. Fast bend and release, and then bend. In this one, there is a fast bend and release at first, followed by a regular bend to the target majorist pitch. The second part of this technique is essential in order to maintain the majorist character. Slide to nowhere. Another way to give that blues feeling, in a kind of an abstract manner, is to slide from the minor third to nowhere, a move just to imply a bend. This one is better to be used in conjunction with other techniques, since it hasn't got a very majorist character. So I suggest to first state the shade of the third using a previous technique, and then you can imply it using this one. Bend behind the nut. Okay, this one is more like a trick, but it's fun to use it from time to time. Of course, it has a limited use since you have to hit an open string. I use it mostly in E blues, hitting the G string and then pushing the string behind the nut until I reach the majorist third. It can also be used in the D string to bend the 7th degree. Anyway, that's all for now. If you know any other techniques, please let me know in the comments. See you next time with a new blues scale. Mama don't allow no easy rider, yeah. But I don't care what mama don't allow. I'm gonna have my easy rider anyhow.